So thank you for having me. This is very fun to meet everybody. And I've already been introduced in a lovely way by Tatiana. And so Janet Gregory, who is my partner in crime, we've just done paired on lots of writing and speaking and developing courses. And she lives in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Although her summer home is in British Columbia, which is where she is now. She's trying to retire. I wish she wouldn't do that, but she keeps writing books, so that's okay. And so a little about my donkeys. So somebody mentioned they want to near my donkeys. I have 3 miniature donkeys and a standard sized donkey. The standard sized donkey's job is to protect the little ones from the coyotes. And all but one donkey is trained to drive and pull carts and do work around the farm. The donkey who doesn't have to do any work is because she's 39 years old, so she gets special treatment. And y'all, I would love for you to get in touch anytime. I do have a lot of free time these days. The consulting business is not just on fire right now either. Uh, and those of you who are job hunting, I don't know how much help I can be in trying to help you actually find a job, but I am here to just chat and listen and help in any way I can. So if you go to my website, you'll find a little place where you can set up a video chat with me. And I encourage you to do that. If you don't find a time slot that works for you because you're in Australia or something, just let me know and we can set something up. I can be flexible because I love to talk about testing. And now that I don't work on a team, I don't get to do it as much as I would like. So today I'm going to talk about the holistic testing model. And I hope that, we don't have a very big group here. So, feel free to jump in anytime with comments or questions. And Janet and I developed this to try to help teams really build an effective test strategy for testing all the way through the whole software development lifecycle. But before we talk about that, let's talk about quality because sounds like you're all in the quality business in one way or another. So I don't know if you're all coffee drinkers. I'm not, but if not, think of tea or any beverage of choice that can be served plain or fancy. So I need audience participation here in the chat, or you can just shout it out. So we've got 3 cups of coffee. One's just a plain old black coffee. One's I guess that's a cappuccino or something, and one's a really fancy one with a little design on top. So which to you is the best quality? Number one, number two, or number three?
And we need to taste it first.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah.
Depends on what the customer wants.
So you would know by the taste. Yeah, it depends. That's a good answer, Sherry.
Number three.
You like number three? I like that pretty picture too. So, think about why you think your choice is best. Taste or cost, yeah. Um, do you think about the quality of the coffee? Like, where did those coffee beans come from? Where were they grown? Are they fair trade beans? How was it roasted? What elevation was it grown? I've heard that's really important when it comes to coffee.
All important. And even how it's prepared would make a difference in the end result.
Yeah. Yeah. What if I told you how much it cost? Another dimension here that something that our customers probably think about with our software products. Would that change your mind about any of these?
No, I know it's a cop out, but it really, like a few other people said, it's completely dependent on, what you're looking for. Are you looking for an artfully prepared artisanal experience, or are you looking for some jet fuel?
Yeah, there you go. I love testers because they always ask good questions.
And it also depends on if I have a job or not right now.
Well, there you go. The price would certainly come into that. And service, maybe you just want, you just need a quick cup of coffee. You just want to stop by Tim Hortons and grab a paper cup of coffee as you go. Or maybe you're having coffee with a friend and you want a really nice ambiance and you want to be waited on and you want that pretty design on your coffee. So, um, even if all three of these coffees are the same exact roasted beans, there are still differentiators. And our software products are just the same way. And when we're trying to think, our customers are the ultimate judge of quality. And when we talk about quality, it's all about your context. Um, there's just so many things about the service industry. Like, oh, if you're going to open a fancy coffee shop, are you going to be able to get enough staff? That's a real problem right here now in Vermont. Can you depend on your supply? Maybe there will be a tariff put on coffee. Um, and how many people are out of a job? So there's a lot that goes into it. Quality is just a big word. So some people look at this picture and they think, oh, a beautiful desert. Some people say, oh, that's so desolate or maybe even dangerous looking because there's no water there. But the desert blooms. So it really changes. Different desert, different time of year here. So we have to think of perspective. So we have to think of different personas who are using our products. Who wants to use it? When do they want to use it? So we have to know our customers. And it's interesting. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Google's DORA research group. DORA originally stood for DevOps Research and Assessment, and they do the State of DevOps survey every year. They're trying to move away from the word DevOps because, let's face it, it's just software development. It's not just DevOps. But they found that user centricity, last year their survey found that user centricity, teams that really understand their customers and are able to deliver things to the customers and get the feedback on how the customers, if it met their needs, those are the most productive teams. Their companies perform the best. They're the happiest teams. And so knowing our customers is really important. Not everybody gets to do that. It's a lot of different business domains where you don't get to talk to your customers. And when we talk about software quality, I like to distinguish internal and external quality. So internal quality, as a software team, we want to be able to write maintainable, operable, testable code. So we want code that we can change easily, that we can be confident that we know how it works, protected by automated tests, perhaps. We get fast feedback when we make changes. We keep risk to a minimum because we deliver small batches of changes frequently. The external quality is from the business point of view or the customer point of view. So that's things that are defined by the customers and the business. So the context matters. These both provide business value because as a software team, we have to be able to deliver in a timely manner and provide good quality. So this is the first law of programming. People think that they can speed up, especially managers and executives. We'll just cut out that testing. We're not going to worry about quality because we want to deliver fast. But when you do that, I think we all know you're going to go slower because you can't confidently make a change and give it to customers you're not sure it works. So letting quality slide, it doesn't work. You can't really trade off speed and quality because if you get rid of the quality, you're not going to have the speed. So how do we build quality into our product? So we've talked a bunch about quality. We've got constraints from the business. We've got customer needs. We've got financial considerations. We've got deadlines, target dates, whatever. First of all, it's important to remember testing is not a phase. It's not something we do after development. I know that happens a lot of places still, but testing is just part of development, just like coding, just like design, just like architecture, just like operations. We do these things all have to happen together. And we do testing activities throughout the whole development lifecycle, which I'll get into more. So we need a thinking tool to help us make sure that we are always considering, what do we need to do at this stage to make sure we deliver the quality that the business and the customers need. So I'm curious about your own teams. Do those of you, maybe your previous team, if you're not currently employed, does the team or did the team ever talk about what does quality mean to us? How do we define quality? What level of quality do we want? What are our specific quality goals? So that could be something like some companies use net promoter scores based on customer surveys. Some organizations use service level objectives like availability, the 5 nines, or 0 defects getting out to production. Does anybody have these kind of conversations on your current
Yeah,
or
we
former
do.
teams? Yeah.
Yeah, so basically, two level, we talk about it. One is overall common goals of quality that needs to be fulfilled for all the products. But then at the test plan level also, we define what does quality mean and what is the failure criteria.
Oh, that is awesome. And do you find that to be helpful?
Yes, it does, because we do involve product in our test plan reviews. So product owners and engineers or managers, the quality managers, define together what does it look like.
Oh, that's fabulous. Anybody else?
So Lisa, when I come in as a leader in the organization, a lot of times they tell me, okay, go define quality and tell us what it is. So,
Oh.
and then they expect me to give them kind of like, okay, what is quality and what do you want us to do?
We use, well, I use Allure test ops to kind of deep dive into having this conversation with my C-suite and my director of engineering. Those and kind of across the board is how we define it. We look at our automation, our manual testing, and kind of a top down from the bottom up to like all the way across quality. The Lure test ops kind of spits out all these graphs that we kind of look and say this is what quality means to us, and then we base that on, we have SLAs off that. So that's kind of that's given us a really good picture into defining what that is and how we deliver that to our customers. So
Oh,
I guess that's, yeah, it's been a game changer for us.
oh, that is a great story. Yeah, and it's so important for people that are focused on quality and testing or have the deep experience in that they participate in doing things like creating the SLAs and SLOs. Yeah, that's great.
Like there is a more common definition of
Yeah,
software
exactly.
quality, like something that product should satisfy all the customers' requirements, which are delivered. So all the quality assessment should be product should be delivered in the required time and at the required cost. That cost is cost and time, and customer expectation should like meet each other.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think it's I didn't hear anyone say like that. Also, like specifying customer behavior, user cases, customer requirements helps to shape profile of software quality assessment, and not only software, hardware also.
Oh, and it's so great to hear you about there are teams out there doing this, because a lot of times when I ask people, it's like, no, we never, nobody ever really talks about that. So this is great to hear. So we talked about quality, and y'all all have some really good ways of establishing your quality goals. So that's great to hear. And testing is also hard to define because it's so vast. Janet and I once tried to write down all the types of testing we could think of, and we got to 100 and said, okay, we're not going to keep going. But one thing is for sure, we can't test quality into the code after the code is written. Janet and I, a few years ago, because we've written all these books on agile testing, people were asking us, what's your definition of agile testing? So we kind of got with people in the community, and if you go to agiletester.ca, our website for our books, there's a blog there, and we have a blog post on kind of this definition that we came up with help from the community. So it's nice. It's nice to agree on those kinds of definitions, especially within your teams. So we need to build quality in. And so Janet, especially Janet, but Janet and I over the years kind of tried to come up with a model that reflected how testing actually happens throughout the software development lifecycle. And we were really inspired by Dan Ashby's continuous testing model, which he blogged about back in 2016. And, you know, testing happens all the way around this loop. And why did we call it the holistic? We've been using Agile. We're all branded as Agile testing. Why did we come up with holistic testing? First of all, because the word Agile nowadays, what does it mean? Everybody has a different opinion. And also because we want to reflect that we feel like quality and testing is the responsibility of the whole team. The whole team needs to get engaged in it. And also the fact that we have this whole development life cycle and there's testing happening throughout that life cycle. So I will talk more about that. So yeah, so we need to get everybody involved in it. So we have cross-functional teams in modern software development, hopefully, and we need to collaborate, work together, whatever experts we need. If they're not on our team, we at least need to have close relationships that we can collaborate with them. So I'm going to explain our thoughts on how you can use that holistic testing model to guide your team in building quality in throughout that whole life cycle. So Janet came up with the idea for this loop because of if you search for a DevOps loop online, you'll see a loop like this. It actually has a testing phase in it, which I think gives really the wrong idea. I think then from the DevOps perception, they mean the automated tester and continuous integration. I don't think they really mean it's a testing phase, but it kind of gives that idea, and we didn't like that. So we put some example testing activities that might happen at each of these stages. Every context is different. You may be doing different testing activities at different stages. It's just a thinking tool. It's not a rule. There are no rules about this. And the idea is to have your team have a conversation while you're looking at this and thinking about what do we do at each stage in our development process. Because hopefully we're working in those small increments and working iteratively, which reduces our risk. Because if we just do a small change to production and something breaks, we know what broke. So I'm going to go into those in a little more detail and stop me if there's anything confusing or you have any questions. So it's an infinite loop, but let's just start with discover. So the business people, product people, whoever, they have an idea for a new change, a new feature, a new product, could be anything. And they have to decide if that idea has value. And we can test those ideas. What's the value to the customer? What problem is this going to solve for the business or the customer? Is it consistent with our business's other products? Our vision? We might want to do some user research. Might want to sit down with the salespeople, marketing people. And one really important thing at this stage is, and this is where a lot of businesses get into trouble, we need to manage our competing priorities. So we need to focus on one change at a time, or at least a minimum number of changes at a time, because otherwise people just get confused and they burn out. And so as we move into planning, in my experience, it helps to use a lot of visual collaboration tools that help us think outside the box. So mind mapping, where you brainstorm together, impact mapping, story mapping, if you're familiar with that, from Jeff Patton, where you get the whole everybody involved together and will, on a virtual or physical wall, map out what's the workflow of this feature or this product, and break it down into stories. It's that collaboration, again, the visuals that helps us think outside the box. And, we're testing early. We're not even close to writing any code, but we're asking good questions. What's most valuable to the customer? What are the risks? Have any of you, are any of you familiar with risk storming from Baron van Dalen and Ministry of Testing? It's just a technique for brainstorming about risks, but it starts by choosing just 6 quality attributes that are most important for that feature, and then brainstorming about the risks for each quality attribute, and then coming up with a plan. How are you going to mitigate those risks? We have to focus. We can't, our human brains can't handle more than 6 priorities at a time. We just get frozen. Just like when you're surfing through channels on your TV and you can't pick one. It's too many choices. So if our product is coffee, we might think, what are the risks for our new feature? We're going to have a flavor of a rose petal beetroot latte. What might happen if we spring that on our customers? Maybe we should start with the rose petal and then add the beetroot, see how people react. So there's a lot we can do at this stage. And once we understand our feature, we understand the risks, we understand the quality priorities. Now we've broken into stories. Now we're going to seek to understand at a detailed level. And this is where practices like behavior-driven development, acceptance test-driven development, this is where those really add a lot of value. I don't know if you've heard of example mapping from Matt Wynn, where you get together with a smaller group, your 3 hats meeting, with somebody from test, somebody from product, somebody from development, and maybe a couple more, because these days we may need other specialists in that discussion to look at each story. What's the goal of the story? What are the business rules? So for each business rule, give us concrete examples of how it should work. When a user does this, then this thing should happen. There's a lot of stuff that can go on here. We couldn't run out of room for examples. So test data, thinking about your test data would be good. So the idea here is to make sure we all understand, both the delivery team and our business stakeholders, we have the same picture of our mind what we're about to build, so we can build the right thing on the first try and avoid the dreaded rework where the product owner says, this is not exactly what I wanted. Do it over. We're doing all these things before we've written a single line of code. I wouldn't advise doing a lot of detailed tests for your right line of code, but at least high level acceptance tests and things like that, or getting examples and business rules, because we're trying to prevent defects. And whenever you're in one of these planning meetings, let's say you're in a story readiness workshop or backlog prioritization meeting, and you ask a question and somebody in the room goes, oh, you just prevented a bug or something they didn't think of. Okay, we're finally writing some code, and hopefully we're using some good practices like test-driven development to prevent those unit level bugs, which are by far the biggest proportion of bugs if you don't do a practice like that. Because we want well-designed, testable, operable code. That's our internal quality. And then, hopefully you're collaborating. Testers are getting to collaborate with developers. I know this doesn't happen everywhere, but one of Janet's favorite stories is when she joined her first extreme programming team, and they're looking at her like, well, we're already doing all the testing. What are you going to do? And she was finding it hard to educate them on what is the added value of testing, somebody with testing expertise can add. And so she asked them, when you're working on that user story, if you think you're done and you're about to do a merge request to put that into the trunk, can you sit down? Can you show me? Spend 10 minutes just showing me this story, what you've done, the code you've written, the tests you've written. Maybe do a little manual testing together. And 10 minutes, people are willing to do that. And so because of the questions she would ask and the things that she would notice, they started to see what value that she could add as a quality engineer or testing expert. We should be talking about how we're going to test this, how we're going to automate the tests. We should have already talked about that at this stage. And then we can start automating the tests as we're writing the code. Again, here you're generally working at a story level. So now we move over to the right side of that loop. We've written code, we've deployed it to a test environment, perhaps, or staging environment, whatever it is. And this is where the automation really comes in. Running our tests and continuous integration, being able to do performance testing, security testing, but there might be, probably are going to be a lot of human-centric testing activities like exploratory testing in a more production-like environment at a feature level because you've finished a lot of storage for that feature. Just so there's so many testing activities here, and testing stability, recovery, accessibility. There's too many to mention, really. And we separated this into this deploy stage because this is where a strong deployment pipeline is really important. Especially if your teams are trying to move towards continuous delivery where you deploy small changes to production frequently. We want to make sure that we don't have bottlenecks in our deployment pipeline. And also keeping in mind that our workflow probably will have some steps that aren't automated, like exploratory testing, and we have to plan for those. And we can, these days, we have the technology to have sophisticated release strategies so that we can deploy changes to production without customers being able to see them. And then we can test in production if it's feasible in our context. It's not always a safe thing to do. It's not always possible, but we can at least deploy to a small number of customers and watch our dashboards for any problems because we planned early on how to instrument our code, what data and events to capture so that we can watch how it's working in production. And we could use feature flags, blue-green deploys, canary releases, all kinds of other strategies to hide those changes or be able to easily turn them off if there are problems until we're confident that they're ready for customers. Ugh, been talking so much. So we've got our features in production and our customers hopefully are using them. How many people here have deployed their team, released a feature and nobody actually used it? This certainly happened to me. And it's like, did we just do it wrong or do they just not need that feature? So this is where that instrumentation that we thought about early in the cycle and implemented as we built the code, this is where it comes in handy. How are our customers using our product? Can we identify errors really quickly and analyze what's causing them without having to add more telemetry to our code and deploying to production again? Also been there. And these days we have so many tools that give us analytics, and you can even see screencasts of how a customer used a page in the user interface. And what we learn from that helps drive the next small changes. It helps the business stakeholders decide what to do next. You can create a hypothesis. We believe if we change this thing on this workflow, our conversion rate will go up by 20% in the next 2 weeks. Oops. So just to sum up the holistic testing model, the left side is about preventing defects because we would rather prevent them than find them in production. But let's face it, our test environments don't look like production usually. We can't test everything. It's just not realistic. We don't know exactly how customers will use things. So we have to be able to do all that observing on the right side. If we find defects, we need to be able to fix as quickly as possible. Again, that's the importance of that deployment pipeline to get changes out very quickly. And it's slower feedback on the right side. It's more expensive, but if we build in the right telemetry and the right infrastructure, we can respond quickly to any problems. So no matter what your role or specialty, most of you here are QA or QEs or testers. You can get involved in every stage and you have a lot to contribute. I am always trying to get more testers to look at those right side testing activities because we're really good at looking at patterns or finding anomalies, identifying risks. So we can use those kind of tools to learn a lot about production. And product owners are probably already using analytic tools. They can learn to use observability tools as well. And everybody can get involved in designing experiments to improve or to add changes for the customers that they really want. As testers, we can collaborate with the developers. We can collaborate with platform engineers, site reliability engineers. Sorry.
I'll mute. I think this is iPhone.
Okay. So we need to build those relationships if we want to get involved in the other parts of the software development lifecycle. So what relationships, think about what relationships that you could build. I know the last few teams I joined because I got very interested in continuous delivery, monitoring, especially observability, which is basically a kind of tool-assisted exploratory testing in production. When I joined a new company, I immediately looked for the platform team or the monitoring and observability team and made friends with them. It's like, oh, could I have a 30-minute meeting with you? And often they're very interested in testing. And so we set up a regular one-on-one every couple weeks. And so then if my team needs to do something to change our infrastructure, well, I already have a contact on the platform and engineering team that can help us understand what to do, understand the risks of what we're doing, help us design a test strategy, help us test it. So those relationships are really important and we can add so much value by getting involved all the way around. So are any of you getting involved in that right-hand side, those right-hand side activities currently?
Yeah, most of my experience is on kind of a frameworks backend side, and a lot of what I'm doing is doing deploys, doing releases, and checking our logging to make sure that everything is looking good, that the performance metrics are looking good, and I think that what you were saying about kind of getting involved with other teams is a good point, because I deal a lot with authentication testing and authentication functionality, and that unfortunately, in my opinion, but maybe other people will think differently, there's a lot of cooks in that kitchen, and so having those relationships with those other teams to get those heads ups or to give heads ups to those teams can really kind of reduce the pain points and reduce your kind of scrambling around like, what the heck happened? Oh, I changed this. Okay, thank you.
Really good point. Really good point. Yeah, get the right people talking. A lot of times people are stepping on each other without knowing it.
Oh yeah.
Anyone else getting involved in anything like observability or
So
monitoring?
for deploy and release, my team has been involved. For observe and learn part, we had a separate BI team. So even
Oh,
though I
okay.
had some people reporting to me from that team, but it was like not the same functional team that was testing thing. So we did have a team who was looking at the data and then trying to figure out how things are.
That's great.
On my end, so just few slides back, we were talking about quality checks. So what I have done within my team as of now is on a weekly basis, we have a health check owner. And so we do weekly releases. So after every release, whosoever is the health check owner, that person is responsible for actually monitoring and checking the logs on the production side. And we have actually uncovered a lot of performance issues because of that ahead of the customer even reported it.
Oh, that is so great. Y'all are doing such awesome things out there. I hope you're blogging about it or speaking at conferences about it and sharing this with other people because I don't always hear of teams doing stuff like this. It's really great.
We actually have a release readiness dashboard that it's custom built. So it tells us based on CI SLAs that I mentioned earlier from Allure test ops. It gives the score. It assigns a score to the release being ready or not. So it's
Oh,
whether
wow.
yeah, it uses AI. It tells us, like, gives a score. If it matches 97%, then we're good to go. And that's kind of what we've developed on it's a proprietary thing, but that's kind of how we do. We do some interesting stuff that way because our QA, we do all our own DevOps. So we work closely with engineering to do that. But yeah, that's kind of what we do. It's a little different for releases.
I'd love to learn more about all these things. Y'all should do a talk at this meetup group in the future so we can all learn more. I love it.
Yeah, we utilize AI really heavily.
Oh, that would be great to know about too. Yeah.
AI and it's an interesting setup that I work with my director of engineering and me have come up with to kind of speed up releases and kind of keep our QA team at the tip of this technological spear, if you will. So it was all experimental and now it's not. And it's like it was just a thought and now it's real. And so yeah, I'd love to anytime anybody wants to know more about it, I'm happy to talk about it.
Oh, great.
I'm
Well,
chatting
that's how
with
we learn by
I'm chatting
experimenting,
with
right?
Thomas on Friday, so I'll talk to
Oh,
him
good.
about
Okay.
being a speaker.
That sounds great. That sounds great.
Hi, Thomas. May I ask you if you're using agentic AI or just some
Sorry, what was the AI?
agentic, AI agents?
Agentic, yeah.
Oh, AI agents. We use we use, I won't say AI agents. We use we use OpenAI, we use Gemini from Google, we use Jules from Google. We use a bunch of different things, but I guess the agent that I could say is like we use some things that do checks on our PRs and things like that. But I never really called them agents before.
Oh,
So
yeah, it's a whole thing. Agentic AI.
I've never really heard of that before. Yeah, we use like OpenAI's API to do things and to utilize AI in that way. And the dashboards that we've created are through Streamlit. But anyways, I'm sorry, Lisa, this is your
No,
thing, so.
that's okay. That's okay. There's always a lot of interest in AI, but we'll keep talking a little bit more about quality because y'all have a lot of good ways you're measuring quality in your context. How do you know you're meeting those quality goals? Finding the most important quality attributes and measure them. Just to have your dashboard, analytics, surveys, whatever. This is a graph that Isabel Evans, who's by the way doing some really awesome research in tester stereotypes and some heuristics for doing things like selecting tools. She showed this graph at a conference talk, and there are two different products or two different companies. It's basically the same functional features in the product, but they're targeted at different user bases. So one set of users didn't care about speed or performance, but they were not tech savvy and they wanted something super easy to use and super safe. They couldn't mess it up. The other group of users wanted speed. They wanted to complete their task quickly. They wanted a lot of flexibility. So it was a similar price point, very similar functionality, but what was important to those users was different. The quality attributes they valued was different. So that's when we're talking about the coffee, same kind of thing. There's different things for different users. So understand your users. Some users, sometimes, if you're a utility and customers have to use your service because there's no choice, who cares? I actually met somebody at the Agile testing days last year that worked for the city of Munich. They had worked in a big city agency, and the city was just like, they didn't care. They didn't care about quality whatsoever. They were using tax money and they were willing to throw away as much as they want. So, you know, it depends. You know, plan your quality roadmap, get a baseline and what your team is doing. Do the experiments like we were just talking about, just to see how you might be able to improve step by step. And you know, you don't have to be, you know, this is a model from Janet Gregory and Selena DeLisi. It's a quality practices assessment model. You don't have to be great at all 10 of these quality practices because they're not all they're not all the same in your context. Some of them aren't as important as others. And you just have to pick the ones that are most important for you, your company, your business, your customers, and focus on which ones you want to improve. That's why I don't like maturity models, because we don't all have to be the same. But if you're interested in their model, I've done this assessment for several clients now, and they find it really helpful because it gives them a roadmap. It's like, ooh, our feedback loops are poor. We want to focus on our feedback loops, or we really need to do better at test automation because that's really important to us. We need that safety net. So these books would teach you how to do assessment. And I'm happy to share these slides. I'll send them to Tatiana, but you can almost also email me and I'll send you
Yep.
the slides.
We'll share them out. Yep.
Great. So building a culture of quality, it sounds like some of you have already experienced that, which is great. And as we said, when you focus on speed, you're just going to accumulate a bunch of bad stuff, technical debt. It's going to slow you down. In my experience, when you focus on quality, you have a visionary leadership, transformative leadership in your company that understands that the investment in quality is going to pay off. You learn good core practices for software development. You build that solid foundation. Then you can deliver small increments quickly and keep those customers happy, keep the company competitive. Talk about quality, ask the good questions. How are we going to test this? What's the value of this feature? What's the most important quality attribute for this? And my favorite, I used to ask our product owners, how will we know if this feature is successful once we put it in production? And I can't tell you how many times that was just met with silence. Like we hadn't thought about that. So we need to experiment, innovate. Has to be okay to fail. So we need that psychological safety so we can ask questions, point out problems. And each person on the team needs to know they're valued and feel empowered to help. So when we use our strengths to help each other, that's when we succeed. And shifting our focus to preventing bugs, and then learning from our product once it's out in production. That so many teams are so pressed for time, and it's like, oh, we got that feature out, let's start working on the next feature, and they never get a chance to see what happens to that feature in production, how the customers use it. So it sounds like y'all have had these quality conversations, and the teams I've been on that grew into high performing teams that were where we were actually happy, we had those conversations. And I was on teams where I could never actually get them to talk about what does quality mean to us, what level of quality is we want, and I just could never get people together to have that conversation. And they were good teams, but they just never got that unicorn magic that you get when you really focus on your quality goals and keep working step by step to make it. So that's all part of holistic testing. How can we get everybody engaged? We can all be influencers. There are lots of good tricks to get to find, find your one ally, things like you do, and brainstorm together how to get more allies for some change you want to make. We can influence. So those small experiments where you don't have to get permission to do it, just try something for a couple of weeks, have a hypothesis, measure it, see if it worked. If it doesn't work, you learn something. And if it does work, you come up with something cool like a release readiness dashboard. So we got the holistic testing book is available on LeanPub and Amazon. And if you go to agiletester.ca, you can see information about all of our books, including free chapters to download and things like that. So I've got a lot of resources to learn more here. And then, of course, the obligatory donkey picture. Last year, we had a total solar eclipse here in Vermont. And so we watched it with the donkeys. They were unimpressed. They just went out and ate grass. They didn't care it got dark. But Marcella tried to steal our food, and she did manage to make off with our paper napkins. So there you go. All right.
That's awesome.
At least she's not looking up without the glasses.
Yeah, I wasn't sure should we get solar glasses for the donkeys, but
Yeah,
they didn't look.
yeah. All right, folks. Do we have questions in the room?
Yes, if I'm allowed to
Go
go
ahead.
first. Yeah. So Lisa, I wanted to know, like, in a startup environment, generally, how do you balance advocating quality without slowing things down? Because startup is a very different environment, and they're all, because it's like, there's no revenue happening and every minute counts. So how do you balance, and how do you advocate for quality without slowing things down?
I mean that's tough because they think that they're gonna go faster if they skip over. I've seen so many startups that's like, well, we're gonna start doing that unit testing thing after our first release. And I mean it's certainly true in a startup. Your early adopters, customers, are not going to be as bothered by bugs and things like that. But it's a false economy. You've got to make the investment. And because as soon as you start getting bigger customers, the ones you really need to make your money, probably they're not going to tolerate the bugs. And I mean, I worked for one startup where, ironically, their product was a test tool, and they really didn't do much testing. They didn't have automated unit tests, for example, but they had great observability and monitoring. They really instrumented the heck out of their code. And so they could see a production problem within minutes, and they had a great deployment pipeline, and they could either roll back or get out a fix. And that worked for a while while the customers were early adopters, small companies, and they were preventing them from having pain for very long, just a few minutes. But when they started getting these big enterprise companies, they don't want even a minute outage. They can't tolerate it. And so then they had to kind of stop, and rather than keep developing new features, they had to go back and like, oh yeah, we gotta put in all this infrastructure and have automated tests at different levels. And so how do you advocate it as a tester? That is really hard. It can be really hard, but like I say, there's got to be one other person that is of the same mindset you are. Get that person and brainstorm with them. Think of ideas. How can you get a couple other people interested in your idea? Now you got more people you can brainstorm with and find out a way to try a small experiment. My technique has always been, hey, can you give me 30 minutes? I want to show you this technique I think will help us. And then I show it to them, they try it. Oh, do you think we could try this for the next iteration or the next sprint and just see how it goes? And when you can propose something small enough, people are more willing to try it. It's harder. I find it harder in the remote world because when I used to be in an office, I could say, "Hey, I've got this great food. Come to the conference room, and I'm going to show you something." I don't know how to do food remotely, but that is tough. And I'm going to put in the chat a book, a set of books I recommend to for patterns for influencing change. I think, let me just check the website so I give you the right website. Yeah, there it is. Oops, if I could type. Linda Rising, oh, that didn't do right at all. I'm trying to put, maybe if I put the whole thing, that worked. Linda Rising and Marilyn Mans have put together these patterns for influencing change, and I like them because they're just small little things to try. And so you can give it a try, and if it doesn't work, you can go on to the next one. But I've found those really helpful. over the past, I guess that book's been around. The first one's been around for 20, 25 years, 20 years at least.
We have a
But that's a
question
good
from
question.
Gord. Gord, do you wanna go next?
Yeah, I don't have something like a new question, but I just wanted to add to what Lisa was talking there about like the idea of like how, you know, startups, and that's different than something more established. I think to me, like the key bit is like understanding like what quality means in the context and saying like, look, okay, if you're telling me like we need to move fast and you don't want to spend time doing these things, which maybe traditionally you would, like unit tests and automation and all this kind of stuff, it's like we can do that, but then or we have to be on board with what the consequences, the potential consequences are, and understand like if we get further down the line, like, okay, now we're going to start paying the price. Because with things like the startup, it's like, okay, maybe it's more important that we like get to market faster, get those customers kind of like sucked in and maybe locked in. But then, like we say, it's like, okay, now heavyweights are going to join and their expectations are going to be higher. Are you going to be ready to accept that? And maybe we'll say, you know what, that's a problem we'll deal with down the road because we have to get there first before we have that problem to worry about. But the point is that there's like, in my experience, like there's a lot of sort of like unspoken ideas, and I don't mind that people have these expectations, but like let's get them out on the open and let's all agree like this is what we're doing, and they come with these potential costs, and then I don't have to worry about it because we've already agreed like this is the situation, this is what we're going for.
Yeah, that's a good idea to have those good conversations. Katerina?
Yes, I would love to ask, so from the point of view of code development, test-driven and behavior-driven development is something that kind of shift left paradigm. Yes, I would love to know if you can share your experience from those teams that have accepted behavior-driven and test-driven development. So we all understand that it is good, for example, but what are the potential pitfalls of using this approach, and what the how to say, other than people's inertia, mind inertia to use them, what can be the disadvantages of applying this approach on practice from your experience?
I mean, I think that the practices are always advantageous, but the disadvantage is that they can be hard for people to learn, especially test-driven development. It's hard to learn how to write effective unit tests, and teams need the time to do that, and especially, you know, in a startup environment, but really any environment, having management leadership that is visionary enough to realize, yes, we're going to spend time investing in helping our people learn how to do this practice. But test-driven development has been shown to prevent 80% of bugs. Think why that's saving the business. You're not having those bugs in production. You're not spending time with production support. But we're humans and we don't care about facts and logic. It's going to slow the team down to learn how to do it. And that's the big, Brian Merritt calls it the hump of pain. When they first are learning to write unit tests, especially if they're doing it before they're, little unit tests before they write the code, it's going to take longer. It's new. They haven't done it before, and they don't already have a library of components they can use. At some point, they start to get enough knowledge. They have a big library of reusable pieces and parts that they can put into the test. Now, all of a sudden, they are saving time, and that time is available for other activities. But it is a tough sell, and I mean, test-driven development's been around for decades now, and so few teams adopt it. But if you don't have a solid foundation of automated unit tests, whether you're doing a test-driven or automating after you write the code, it kind of doesn't matter what other testing you do at other levels. In the long run, you're not going to succeed. Now, in terms of behavior-driven development, so the teams I've been on that were most successful did the test-driven development first. Maybe we did some smoke testing at the UI level that automated those tests, so we didn't have to do all the manual regression testing before release. But then we got in that middle layer and did the behavior driven development for the business logic at the API level or the service level. And that was super effective. But the main benefit was we had to talk together. Especially if we're using a framework where the testers are specifying the test, the developers are writing the fixture code to automate them. We got to talk, we got to collaborate. And it turns out, like, I think the story should work this way, and Martha over here thinks it should work a different way. Now we've got to talk, or maybe have to go talk to the product owner and see who's, what's really the story. Getting that shared understanding before we write the code or before we think we're done writing the code, that's the real time saver. And yeah, after all that, we have automated regression tests, but those are not as important as understanding it. And so that's why tool like Cucumber, the developers at Cucumber will tell you it's not a test automation tool, it's a test specification tool. And it's all about having those conversations. But you do end up with automated tests.
Yeah. Thank you. Just wanted to just align my vision. Thank you.
Lisa, I have a question. I don't see any other hands for now. So in your practice of applying this holistic approach to companies, right? Do you have like an example you can share with us maybe where you applied it and it was a kind of like, an exciting transformation or something, successful transformation that worked well?
Yeah, I mean, I think one way to use it is to come up with a test strategy together. So say, hey, we've got this new product or a new feature coming up. Let's think about how we're going to test it, and using the model to think about what are we going to do in each stage so that we can be prepared to do that. We have all the resources we need to do when we get to that stage. I mean, we have the Agile testing quadrants as well, kind of a similar thing. It's just to help you think of the types of testing you're going to need to do. Because what happens a lot of times is you get into working on a new feature and you want to go start testing it and you realize you don't have any test data. You don't have any data that looks like, well, now we have Gen AI, we could just have it generate our test data for us maybe, but or we need a different environment to test this in. Maybe we're moving to the cloud and we need containers to test in, but they're not set up yet. Well, who's going to do that for us? And then we're stuck for a while this gets done. But if we plan ahead, we can have somebody working on that so it's ready when we get there. So that's one way to use it. And then another way, just start using it. I guess my own experience as a consultant working with companies is I find that I'll even work with teams that they're doing test-driven development. They're doing pair programming. They're doing continuous integration. They're doing continuous delivery. They have good monitoring. They might have some observability, but they're just taking the requirements from the product people and building them. They're not doing any risk assessment. Nobody asks any questions. Nobody asks what's valuable to customers. Now, these are teams without testers, mind you, because they don't think they need any stinking testers. And then they wonder why they get so many production support requests. And they say, well, that's not really a bug. That just wasn't part of the requirements. Well, hello. So I think it's really, if you're going to start trying to use this holistic approach, start in that planning stage. Have meaningful conversations where people get a chance to ask those questions. Like, even something simple. What's the worst thing that could happen with this feature? What if we implemented this feature and it didn't really work for the customers? Plan games like Elizabeth Hendrickson's Nightmare Headlines game. What do we not want to see in the news or on social media after we release this feature to the world? I think that's where you get the most value. And then from there, you can get involved in all those other stages. But it can
Thank
be
you.
hard because a lot of testers are stretched too thin. They don't really get an opportunity to go to those planning meetings because they're being it's like, oh, we have to release this and we didn't do enough testing, so come do some manual testing on it, and they get spread too thin. But we got to fix that. If you just keep on in that mode, you're just going to burn out. So you know, find some allies. And it's like, okay, we really need to be involved in these planning meetings. And then get the whole team, make the problems visible to the whole team. I worked with a team not long ago. I did a process retrospective for them, you know, which involves like we get a new feature from the product person, and then we got a 2-week sprint, and what do we do in that time? And it really made it visible that they had a real bottleneck with testing, because although they were an agile team, cross-functional with testers on the team, they were still basically coding and then throwing it to the wall, over the wall to the testers. It was just the mini waterfall. But when we talked about it in the process retrospective, and we had this timeline with all these activities and who's doing it on a Miro board, it suddenly became so obvious to the developers. And they're like, oh, you know, the testers are killing themselves the last couple of days of the sprint, and we're just twiddling our thumbs. We need to do something about that. It made it visible. And so as a team, they decided to try an experiment where the developers would do more exploratory testing and as well as automation on each story as they were working on it before they said they were done. And I got back in touch with them about a month later, and they had made real progress. But making those progress visible and having the conversations is really important. I think I got off track with that question, but
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Anyone else in the audience has questions?
and you can get in touch with me anytime.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that offer, Lisa. And it's a pleasure to have you here with us today and talk testing, you know. I think once you're in testing, you never can stop talking about it, and you have a pleasure of talking about testing, right? Even if you become a developer, you come back and talk about testing. So thank you, everyone. I think we'll wrap it up then for today. So I want to remind everyone about the WhatsApp group. I posted up there. I can repost it again for the job search support circle. We have great conversations. We talk about resumes, how to get through to the recruiters and whatnot. We also have a few other meetups coming up. So please join the meetup group if you didn't yet. And join our LinkedIn group as well. We'll be posting a lot of recordings from the conference. If you folks missed the conference, the recordings are coming, hopefully this week or next. We already have them. We're just processing them. So you'll get to experience amazing speakers from the conference as well. And I want to thank Lisa for spending her time with us today. Thank you, Lisa, for your presentation and expertise and knowledge that you acquired throughout your career. All right, then
It's my pleasure, and I'm so inspired by hearing all y'all's stories as well. So I look forward to learning more from you through this meetup and LinkedIn.
Yeah. Any last words, anyone?
Thank you.
Good. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.